Hi again. My name is Rebel and I'm the Rebel Reseller, and I'm going to be doing another one of my videos on brands that I like to sell. This is following behind the one that I released earlier this week on the Build-A-Bears, and it had such a great connection with everybody that I thought I'm going to try to do it at least once a week, but I thought I had time today, so I thought I'd put another one together. One of the first comments on there was that somebody thought I should do one on Douglas, because I like Douglas. It's not a brand I find a lot of, but again, just in doing this research, I realized, there's a lot of Douglas plush out there that we all need to be keeping our eyes out for. I did a little bit different this time. I tried to be a little bit more, show more due diligence in making sure that what it says sold really sold. We all know we don't hardly get feedback on our items for the most part. I think I'm probably about one in 5 things I sell, I might get feedback. So, I tried to show as many of the items that I could find that positive feedback was left for the seller. But I did want to go ahead and show items that no feedback was left, but I did go into every one of these stores to make sure that it hadn't been relisted. So I'm hoping I caught, anything that didn't get paid for, but we don't know for sure. Turn the phone off. All right. Robert sent a text to the wrong person. Me, instead of RJ. So now I forgot what I was saying. I've marked each listing. If it's sold and there's positive feedback, then I'll let you know. If it's sold and there's not any feedback, but it's not listed in the store again, I have that on each screen too. So just trying the best that I can to show you things to be looking for, but we can't always know for sure that it went the way it was supposed to go. Like I was watching yesterday, or I read in a post yesterday, that Pyrex bowl that's been shown on every Facebook group, come to find out the winning bidder didn't pay. So, we don't always know how the auctions or listings really end, but I tried. All right, let me go ahead. So this one is all on Douglas. So of course, I had to start with the Loveys. Loveys is the thing that I find the most of, and small plush. I don't think I've ever found a high dollar plush for Douglas, but now after this video and the research I've been doing, I'm going to be looking for them. But here's some of the ones that I have. I have seen these before. I've probably sold some in the past, but again, all of these are based on the last 90 days because that's all I can see. Now, I went into Terra Peak, but I can only open up the screens for the things that have sold in the last 90 days. So this is a Douglas Giraffe Schlumpy Lovey. There was a whole variety of different animals in that series, but this one sold supposedly for $32, but I did make a note on here that it says there was no feedback, but it was not relisted. So hopefully that means that this went through without any issues. And then this is another Lovey to be looking for. This is a Douglas Baby Monkey Lovey with the gold satin trim. Now, when I went and looked in this person's store, they do have another one similar to this, but it had a white satin trim. So I guess there's different varieties. This one sold for $49.95. And then I have found some of the older Douglas plush. You guys know me. I love the vintage plush. But look at the condition of this one. This is a Cuddle. Usually the older ones say Douglas Cuddle Toys directly on the tag. But look at this bear. It's in kind of rough condition, and it still sold for $30. So even if it's looking rough, definitely at least check it. But you know me, I'm going to pick them up. And then this was a Douglas Black Lab Labrador. You're going to notice almost all of these plush are, in fact, I think all of them are animals. I think that's just what Douglas does, is a whole lot of animals. So this was a Black Lab Labrador. It sold for $30, and there was positive feedback left. This was a Peter Rabbit plush by Douglas vintage. It sold for best offer also of $30, and feedback was left. Another $30 sale. This was Douglas Frenchy French Bulldog. It sold for $30. And then this was, I find a lot of the, I call them my first dolls, in all kinds of brands. Carter's, Prestige, a lot of them have these type dolls. This one was Douglas. Her name was Claire, and she sold for $35. But again, no feedback was left, but it was not relisted. This was a horse Douglas plush, 20 inches long. It sold for $34.99. This title just killed me. Vintage plush stuffed space kangaroo and baby. I've been told you should not use marks, punctuation in your titles. And then I'm not sure why there's all that space. But this sold for $36. And there was feedback left for it. This was Douglas Jack Link's Sasquatch plush. Bigfoot. Y'all know I love the advertising plush. So the fact that Douglas has one also. This sold for $39.99. Again, no feedback, not relisted though. So I'm assuming at these dollar values, it probably went through. This was Douglas Cuddle Toys Willard, the Old English Bulldog, Sheepdog, 18 inches. It sold for $40. This was Douglas Cuddle Toys Leopard Cheetah. It sold for $50. There was a whole lot of auctions when you started getting up into the bigger dollars. This was a Douglas horse plush. Has a blue and red patch. It's very cute. You can tell this is more of one of the baby toys also. It sold for $56.99. I just loved this one, so I had to include it. This was Disney and Douglas. I'm assuming it's just Sheraton Green Swan. I'm not sure if that's Sheraton Hotels or what, but it sold for $59.20. Another baby plush. This is a Douglas Baby Starlight Orange Fox plush. It sold for $52.79. This was a Douglas Calico Cat plush. Not quite sure why. Oh, maybe its name was Puzzles. Don't know. But look how cute that is. It sold for $56.86. Now my prices range from $30 up to $19, but we're going to discuss that one. This is a Westie dog plush, 15-inch. I saw a couple of these had sold. This one sold for $58.45. This was a Douglas horse plush Zoe, 20 inches again. See, when I measure head to the bottom of the feet, but some people measure the length. I'm not quite sure. That's why I like to take a picture of how I'm measuring something. But this one sold for $60. This is a Saint Bernard named Otis. It sold for $65. You know, I talk about this a lot in mine. a lot of plush that is specific dog breeds do really well for me. So like the St. Bernards, the Rottweilers, the German Shepherds, all of them. I will pretty much pick up any brand if it's a specific breed of dogs or cats. This is, look at this title, Douglas Plush Dog. And when I went and looked at their feedback, they had lots that all of their listings were just like this. But this one sold for $65 and there was feedback left. I'm not quite sure what kind of animal that is. I mean, breed. This was a Douglas gray striped tabby cat. Very cute. It sold for $69.99. This was a weighted Fox Plush. Feedback was left on this. It sold for $70. I just thought that was... I didn't know Douglas was doing weighted plush for like therapy. This is a Lhasa Apso, 14 inches. It sold for $85 and there was positive feedback left. This was a Leopard, 29 inches. It sold for $88. This is a 3-foot long lion. A lot of them start getting realistic looking the bigger they get. This one sold for $99. This was a major, must have been his name, German Shepherd. It sold for best offer of $125. We're getting into some of the bigger prices now. This was a mountain lion, jumbo size, 40 inches. It sold for $198.50. Again, I didn't see any feedback left, but it had not been relisted either. And you just have to assume if it doesn't get paid for, it's going to get relisted. Now this was a Dell Earnhardt Jr. boxer dog. It was new, it was an auction, and it sold for $207.50, and positive feedback was left for the seller. This was a husky named Nadia from 2010. It was auctioned also. It sold for $227.50 and feedback was left. This was a Jack Russell Terrier dog. It sold for $300, but again, no feedback, but was not relisted. A whole lot of dogs. This was a silver Greyhound. It sold for $305 on auction. This was a Springer Spaniel. Feedback was left. It sold on auction for $305. And I think this next one, same seller, sold this one also. It was a Wheaton Terrier Plush, and it sold for $410.34. And feedback was left for it also. So you can tell there's collectors out there of very specific breeds. This was Diana the musical plush corgi. It sold for $475 and feedback was left for the seller. Right, this, we're getting into some big bucks. Now this one was a long-haired cat. Up for auction, sold for $560. So I'm definitely, I picked them all up. I've just, I guess, haven't been lucky enough to find one like this. Now, this was another husky. There was lots of these that have sold. A lot of them in, lower, like hundreds. But this was the highest one, and feedback was left for the buyer, for the seller, and it sold for $810. And this is a 50-inch Mooshu dragon from Mulan. It says it's Disney, but it's Douglas also, and it sold for $750, and feedback was left for the seller. $750, but man, 50 inches. I'm not sure if it would have been bendable. It said free shipping, so don't know what that would have cost. All right, I did confirm this one. Positive feedback was left for the seller. This was a Pat the black and white cat. It sold for $800. I need to find one of them. And then this. We're going to just discuss this because it's for informational only. There were lots of Simbas that have sold, anywhere from over 1,000 down into like the 200s, but none of them that I checked had feedback. So I don't know. I've seen this posted in Facebook groups as a bolo. I know to watch for it. It's very large. Just, you know, I'm assuming that most of these prices are legit. The ones that were bigger than this, I don't know, because I couldn't find anywhere where they had positive feedback, but none of them had them relisted in their stores that I could tell. I spent a while looking, so I don't know. Just if you end up ever finding a Douglas Simba from the Lion King, huge plush. This is a jumbo. Definitely, I would pick it up personally and try to figure it all out, especially if it's not very much, but definitely one to look for. And then this next one. This is Douglas Cuddle Plush Toy, 36-inch, Maggie the Irish Setter. Holy Grail. This sold for $1,958. And just so everybody can see, I went ahead and did this. Wow, I'm so in love with this. She is huge. Thank you so much. Positive feedback was left. So definitely this is the one we're all going to be on the lookout for. Pretty much looks life size. So anytime we see dogs, large plush, if you see a Douglas tag on it, definitely grab it. But definitely watch for some of the other brands too, because I'm all about specific breed plush. And then, so that was the highest dollar one that I could find. But in my research, come to find out, Douglas Cuddle Toys also has a store on eBay, which it says here they've sold 18,000 items. So if you're ever trying, I guess, looking for current Douglas, there is a store. And I did see a whole lot of these in those listings. So now there we know. Douglas has their own Facebook. Douglas has their own eBay store. I hope you're enjoying this series. I plan on continuing to do them as my interest gets piqued in something that I have found, and I'm doing a little research, so I might as well just share it with you guys. I'm enjoying this, and I'm hoping a lot of us are going to be on the lookout every time we see, you know, a life-size dog, see if it's Douglas, or, you know, some of the Build-A-Bears that I showed last time. I think we're all going to benefit from this, and it's getting me back into the research mode, which I have been out of for a while. I'm just kind of been doing based on past experience, which I do have 23 years on eBay selling plush for the most part, but it's good to start refamiliarizing myself with current trends. All right, bye.